All right, Roger Stone is joining us via the phone, and we've got Lionel via video Skype. Again, this is a syndicated radio broadcast, is its roots, but it is TV as well. But it's not a controlled teleprompter format like CNN or MSNBC or Fox. It is real analysis, real history, real information. And it's not people that are controlled. I don't pre-screen my guest. I don't sit there and tell them what they can talk about and where they can go. We really break things down. We don't tell callers what they can talk about either. I mean, we talk about certain topics we want to cover, but this is the future of the media, and that's where it's going. And that's why they have to come in with massive censorship. Lionel hit an area earlier that I want to bring up with Roger Stone after we hit the campaign, and that's that they're saying if there's foreign media in this country, that it can't then talk about our election. But then they're bringing in foreign companies that hire Americans, and then people don't even know it's foreign. And then, of course, it'll be government politics. It'll all be selectively enforced. It won't be neutral. There's no such thing. They're like, Jones admits, he's a wild libertarian supporter of Trump. Well, of course I admit it. I'm open about what I do. I can barely keep track of all the news and information, much less sit here and spin stuff and come up with angles. I come up with what the reality is for me in my own research and history. That's what's scary about these millennials we interview. They're on the street and they're just like, well, I think Hillary won the debate because I want her to be president, so I want to say she won. They think like she wins because they say she did, instead of did she really win the debate? Like, I want Trump to say he won that debate. I think he narrowly did because they overdid it. They bullied him so bad and interrupted and did it. People are sick of this. They're sick of the MSM. It's like the Washington Post said on Monday, don't call us the media anymore. And we're very condescending. We're going to talk to Roger Stone about that as well. But regardless, there is a collapse of the establishment media. That's why Roger Stone's doing a radio show now on GCN. Lionel's doing his own show, and he's been on national radio and TV in his own right. It's why more and more you are doing it. And in this college of ideas of real diversity and real competition, the best will rise to the top unless they try to rig it. So in just a couple days, October 1st, the UN takes over the web. Doesn't mean they're going to shut it off today, but the fix is already in. So we'll talk about that. Before I go any further, again, this is about to end. The summer's been over for a week. They've barely extended it because I was supposed to plug this a month ago and just didn't do it. I've been so busy. I'm just skipping breaks, not plugging sponsors. I mean, I'm crazy, okay? Quite frankly. To the point we've been losing money lately because I've been so busy. So that's why you're hearing all these plugs. Solutions from Science, summersolarcell.com. They're amazing. They have wind turbines, solar generators, EMP bags, smart LED light bulbs. Just a great cornucopia of really high-quality products. They go out and find the best products that you need, and then the latest cutting edge, they sell it discounted. They have informational videos on their site, summersolarcell.com. Buy one perfect power package and use coupon code ALEX to receive another one absolutely free. That is a big deal. So check out their solar generators, wind turbines, and more. Summersolarcell.com or 877-327-0365, 877-327-0365. And again, it's sponsors like that make the broadcast possible. And when you hear me plugging a sponsor, that means I'm endorsing it. People get confused on local radio stations, hear local ads. They think I'm endorsing it. They'll hear like an ad for a topless bar. You got a topless bar on your show. I'm not down there at the Cheetah or whatever it is, in whatever state you're at, or the ladies, such and such. There's a lot of confusion out there by some people. But when you hear me plugging something, that means I believe in it. High quality folks from Solutions from Science, and that's summersolarcell.com. Finally, we have incredible nutraceuticals that everybody needs at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. Our new probiotic Biome Defense is in. The Hillary for Prison shirt, I've decided that I'm only going to sell that until the election. I'm going to come up with something new at that point, a new meme. I haven't figured out what it is yet, but the other folks will sell the ripoffs of it. That's fine. I don't care. I'm ending this third version. This will be the third and final collector edition of Hillary for Prison with the red Infowars.com on the sleeve and the legalized freedom on the back. I'm ending it. So if you haven't gotten yours or you want another piece of history, InfoWarsStore.com. Now, another shirt that was designed and licensed from Roger Stone is the Bill Clinton rape shirt. Looks like the, communist-style Obama hope shirt that says rape. Wear it. Get aggressive. Start the conversations. Get on TV with it. In fact, I'm going to say this right now. Anyone that gets on national TV with the shirt clearly for more than 5 seconds gets $1,000. That means, you know, behind cameras, you name it. Anyone that gets it on air on national TV and gets the words out, Bill Clinton is a rapist, or things along that line with a bullhorn, I could go to this right now. $5,000 until a budget of $100,000 has been spent. But you got to upload the video to YouTube and Facebook. You got to get it to us, and I pay all these bounties. I pay all these contests. We've had a $100,000 contest before. My budget's $100,000. That means if, you know, a bunch of people do this, I'll pay up to $100,000 and stop it. That's $1,000 if you just get the shirt on national TV. Visually rape. Okay? It is $5,000 if you get the audio, legally and lawfully. They got to be outdoors, one of their little events. You got to have a bullhorn. You got to have the shirt on or have somebody with it, or maybe a big sign with it on it, and two of you hold it up, and then somebody else bullhorns. Bill Clinton is a rapist, not a philanderer. Hillary covers up the rape. Now, I'm going to go back to Lionel here in just a moment. He's riding a shotgun with us, and Roger Stone's popping in. Roger, thanks for coming on. There's so much to get to today. Lionel, who I know is a cohort occasionally on radio with you, is here. There's so much to get into. Front and center, CNN, big cover story. They're airing it every hour. They say you're running the Trump campaign. You're one of the worst guys in the quote, boys club, and that supposedly you're the one that's got him out there saying philanderer. And I talked to you this morning. That's more BS, isn't it?
Yeah, this is very disturbing, Alex, because CNN, and I have many friends that work there, is completely misrepresenting my views. I have never said publicly or privately that Donald Trump should make an issue of Bill's infidelities, his indiscretions, his consensual sexual relations. I don't think the voters care. And in fact, Hillary just plays off it and acts like the victim. No, I think that the issue here is rape. It's sexual assault. It's violence against women. Juanita Broaddrick, Eileen Wellstone, Liz Ward Grayson, Regina Hopper Blakely, Kathleen Willey, Sandra Allen James, Kathy Bradshaw, Christy Zurcher, Paula Jones, Carolyn Moffitt, among others. All of these women were assaulted by Bill, sexually assaulted, in some cases raped, in other cases bitten. And in every case, it is Hillary Clinton who has led the cover-up. It is Hillary Clinton who has hired the private detectives and the lawyers to threaten and harass these women, to dig up dirt on them, to try to discredit them, to, at the end of the day, threaten and bully them into silence. I have never advocated the use of Bill's philandering as an issue. Now, I don't know what others are advocating. I saw this piece on CNN that says I'm the member of some boys club. I couldn't tell you what Newt Gingrich is advising, or Michael Cohen, or Rudy Giuliani, or Newt Gingrich. I have no idea what their advice is. I only know what I have said. I've written a book about this, The Clintons' War on Women. It's available right now at the InfoWars store. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Barnes and Noble. You won't find much in there about consensual.
Well, this is how they lie about us all. They always misrepresent what we're really saying, and this is on purpose. Obviously, they know that you wrote the blueprint with all the admitted facts about their war on women and about how she's a beard for his sex addiction and you know, rape addiction. I mean, he's a Ted Bundy type, and so they're just diverting it and saying, oh, the philandering. In fact, I've even some stories like, even though Stone admits he's got a wild life, he's a hypocrite and is mad that Bill's got women. Again, these people are total Decepticons.
Yeah, look, I'm a libertine. I make no bones about it, but I've never raped anybody. I've never assaulted anybody. I've never bitten any women. You know, I don't think consensual sex is of any interest to the voters.
Now, did you ever bite a woman a little bit if she wanted you to? Now, let's be honest.
Well, I'm not going to get into that because I'm a happily married man.
I know, of course.
But but the entire disinformation campaign, I might just watch CNN in disbelief and see Brooke Baldwin, who I think is a pretty nice lady, talking about Bill's indiscretions. I'm not interested. No voter's interested. That's not the issue here. But for Hillary to raise the questions of Miss Venezuela or Miss Universe from Venezuela, who hardly seems to be a sterling character, who cares? When the Clintons are systematically, in Bill's case, assaulting women, and Hillary is threatening and bullying them, and when their policies are empowering, radical Islamics who are stoning women, cutting off women's genitals, subjecting women to third-class
Why didn't Trump come back with, you are the lady that stays in the same hotel room with Uma Abedin, whose mother is the top genital mutilation supporter in the world?
Yeah, no, look, there's so many extraordinary lapses here by the mainstream media. They've gone completely
I've got
insane.
Lionel here, and he can jump in any time he wants, but Roger, shifting gears out of this, our audience gets it. They understand it. I mean, there's new people tuning in all the time, but if they haven't woken up by now, they probably never will. What are you concerned about? I think Trump is still ahead. I think he barely won the debate in that they overdid it with the attacks. It was so rigged. That's the only reason he won. I think he did via expectations. I think, in ways he lost to Hillary. I think he knows that now and is coming out. And I think he's going to now go on the attack. I know that little birds and things have been talking to him, about what's going on. But what would you advise Trump or anybody debating Hillary Clinton to say or do?
Well, I'm not going to divulge directly what my advice may or may not be, but I think if anyone reads my book, they'll understand it. Hillary Clinton raised the question of mandatory minimum sentences? Really? You mean the ones that she and her husband gave us in the 1994 crime bill? How could any black person vote for Bill's wife when she called them super predators who must be made to heal? Let's be very clear. The 1994 crime bill pushed by the Clintons has incarcerated an entire generation of young black men for the nonviolent crime of possession of.
And by the way, we have a former prosecutor here, Lionel, from LionelMedia.com.
You want to jump in here? You know more about this than I do.
Well, there's this whole issue has been replete with lies. Look at how they lied about claiming that stop and frisk was now illegal. Stop and frisk has been the law of the land since 1968 in the case called Terry against Ohio. What they do is they just make things up. What the Clintons have been responsible for is advocating and maintaining a prison industrial complex. And what amazes me is as long as the sock puppet Ted Baxter mainstream media continue to run and act as a rodeo clown, meaning diverting the attention of the charging bull, diverting the attention from what would normally be an inquisitive public. See, they are part and parcel. They are co-conspirators. They're accessories in this disinformation front. Because if the public really understood just an idea, and Roger, what I started off with in explaining to Alex was what I cannot get away from is the fact that we can argue all day long about ideologies of politicians. You might or might not have preferred what Reagan or Nixon or Bush or Carter did, but we never believed that they were part of a craven, venal, naked graft and corruption lining of the pockets. Everything that is the essence of Hillary Clinton is about her making money. That's it. It's not ideology. It's not a direction. It's not a vision. It's not a platform. It's not a future. It's about the lowest form of graft there is, her making money. She's subject to being bought and sold. So not that it would change anything, but Roger and Alex, if she could say to you, you don't understand. I firmly believe in the tenets and the precepts of what I'm saying based upon a grander, loftier goal of the predominance of a particular idea. Fine, I would have a problem with it, but it's not even about that. There is no substance. It's about money.
She has no ideology other than the ideology of money.
And that's my next question for you, Roger.
Bernie Sanders, I think he's really a socialist. I think he really believes all that claptrap, but at least he's sincere.
Let me ask this then. Is she a sociopath or a full-blown psychopath?
I'm not a psychiatrist, so I couldn't tell you, but either one is a real possibility.
Well, I'll tell you, I think she's a psychopath because she's not just a sociopath. She enjoys hurting people and brags about it and licks her lips and looks like...
May I add something to that, Alex?
Yes.
one of the definitions of psychopathy and sociopathy, which is kind of more of what she is, though it's hard to differentiate, is they don't have an appreciation for consequence. And a lot of times what a sociopath will do and a psychopath is they will lie and get themselves into trouble, not because mendacity is their middle name, is that where you and I might not lie because we will get caught. Hillary Clinton lives in a world that has its own rules. She can do whatever she wants. And not only that, she gets out of think about this. Bill Clinton and Hillary, they have never been caught at anything in their life.
That's right. And so that's why they have incredible hubris. And it just sounds like World War III to put her in the presidency, because she just thinks she's invincible and she's got all these minions that are just hopping around. Roger, so let me ask you this question. What do you make of all the Charlie Rose and Grubers and you know, the outgoing head of the State Department spokesperson? There's all these videos now where they go on TV and laugh and talk about how they're deceiving us and thank God we're so dumb. What the hell is that?
Yeah, this is, as your friend Karl Rove used to say, they're creating their own reality. So Trump did fine in the debate, so we will create our own reality. It was an ignominious defeat by Trump. No, it wasn't. He scored on jobs. He scored on taxes. He let a couple pitches go by, but it was only the first debate. We have 2 more debates to go. So you have here the media seeking to recast the results the way they want them to be, as opposed to the way they are.
Do you agree with me, though, that the fact that they so over-rigged it and the fact that he was debating 2 people, I mean, I think that's really why Trump won.
Yeah, look, I think that's true. I also have been watching this entire discussion where Hillary's aides say that she passed out on 9/11. She's had these fainting spells because she doesn't drink enough water, and they laugh. You try telling Hillary Clinton to drink water. Well, of course, one of the side effects of Parkinson's is incontinence. So I think the reason she doesn't drink water is because she most likely, has a bag strapped to her leg. Now, when you look at photos, there's very clearly something.
No, that's why she's wearing the big. That's why it'll be like 80 degrees, and she's wearing huge outfits because the woman's wearing a diaper.
Yeah, she has serious health problems. She's concealing them from the public. Isn't it interesting that Bill said that all her doctors say she's fine, yet the only doctor we know that she's seen is this quack in Mount Kisco.
Well, first he said, oh, yeah, she falls down all the time. You know, it's no big deal. I mean, it's going on for a long time, but very rarely. I mean, of course.
Yeah, actually, we said, you're right.
And that's why an ambulance follows right behind her, and that's why the Secret Service said, look, just watch the ambulances, watch the vehicle. She's falling down. You're going to catch it on tape. And look, we caught it on tape.
Well, and CBS, God bless them, they edit Bill's comment that she faints all the time out of the interview because they're in on the joke. In 40 years in American politics, 9 presidential campaigns, I've never seen this kind of bias.
I agree. What does that signify that they are destroying themselves with a wall of lies? Every major channel would show her wobble. They said she stumbled. Big deal. She didn't fall. They tried that for 2 days. Until they figured out, oh, my God, it's all over the internet. Again, I would figure that in 2 seconds. Plus, I don't want to be deceptive. The most valuable thing is people knowing you're telling the truth. That's the most valuable commodity. People know they can trust you, that your word is your bond. That's my most valuable thing. But they don't even get that. But if I was in their mind, exactly what Lionel was just saying, I want to ask you this, Roger, and then have Lionel come back. If I was them, they're not even smart enough at CNN and all the major channels. At first, Fox wasn't even showing it all. To only show her wobble and then not completely fall down and say we made it up? I mean, what the hell were they thinking? And then, of course, 2 days later, they then had to actually start showing it, Roger. That shows these people are stupid.
Well, except for they're counting on their friends at Facebook and their friends at Twitter and their friends even in the cyber media, making sure that as few people as possible see the truth. You see, they
That's why they censor. So how do we counter that? How do we counter Facebook, Google, Twitter, Apple, Microsoft all admitting they are, quote, going to deliver the election? Now the UN came out. I have this in the Associated Press. Came out and said, Americans, we must bring down Trump. People worldwide stop him. Meanwhile, a branch of the UN/EU is being brought in to oversee the election. You can't even make this up, Roger.
No, and as I've said on this program, watch the watchers. We're about at stopthesteal.org. We are about to unveil our national exit poll software, so that we can double check this election, and we will know definitively whether this election has been stolen. This is a lot of bells and whistles have gone into the technology. Working with political scientists and working with other IT specialists, we're going to be able to see graphically whether they are cheating. We also have now finally come up with a program called Defend the Donald. You can go to stopthesteal.org and click on that link because we have to combat the paid bots being run by David Brock, the money launderer.
By the way, since you raised that, I want to have you up very, very soon. I know that you're taking care of some family today, hardworking guy, but we come back with a battle plan of what we can do, how we're going to take action. Because, I mean, as I keep saying, my audience is super informed. They want marching orders. They want me to tell them what they should do. And I just say spread the word, get out and tell people what's happening, buy the Clinton rape shirt, you know, call into talk radio, call into C-SPAN, get a bullhorn, go find a national news feed in your area, get on TV legally and lawfully, get aggressive, put Infowars.com on the side of your barn. Show support for Donald Trump. Break through the political correctness. I want to talk about that with you in a moment, Roger. But first, Lionel, you're over there chomping at the bit.
Well, one of the reasons why I think the message has been so effective, and let me just reiterate, I'm not an advocate or a surrogate for Donald Trump, but one of the reasons why I think his performance and his poll numbers are far greater and more acceptable than anybody would ever imagine is by virtue of the frequency and the severity and the ferocity of the anti-Trump messaging. Because the Hillary Clinton group, her acolytes and minions and zealots and zombies, are panicked beyond anything that we can comprehend. What they're trying to do is to hope that they can keep injecting more non-sequiturs, more non-issues into the mix about his taxes, about comments that he made. Now think about this. As we look at the possibility of a third world war, we are talking about NATO and others sticking a thumb in the eye of Putin and God knows what, a mega power. And instead of talking about that, talking about policy and platform, we're talking about comments that the Republican candidate made regarding a pageant entrant. Now think about that for just a moment. This has been their goal. Keep this.
That sounds like the intro to a science fiction movie. You know, right. As the country debated beauty pageants, nuclear war was about to happen, and the human species was about to end.
But we're rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. So what happens is this. But I submit to you that the numbers are far greater.
In fact, let me bring that up to Roger, because every time I bring this up to him in private or in public, he doesn't want to count on it. Never really. This is one of the few things Roger Stone never gives me an answer on. And Roger, I want the answer because I respect you. Getting to know you over the last year plus. I mean, you're so on target. You're the opposite of a liar, the opposite of what the media says you are. Let me ask you this. I know there's a huge shadow Trump support base. Most people I talk to, including a lot of Hispanic folks, secretly like Trump. They call in, they tell us, people I know say it. Black folks have been intimidated, told not to. They get intimidated. You name it, young people especially. There is this bullying. I think there is this big 5, 10, 15 point, I don't know, segment of closeted Trump supporters out there. And so I think that Hillary's not going to win. She just has to, and I know this in my gut, she knows she has to convince everybody that it's plausible that she does win because they're going to steal it. They're master criminals. They've always done it. I believe they're preparing us to try to steal the election. Now, I want to keep saying we're in the race, we're winning, to keep confidence up. That's the truth. But we have to admit that there's this fraud going on to stop it. And so what about the phantom Trump vote out there?
Well, turnout is going to be one of the uncertain things in this election. We know from studying poll results that Trump has consistently done better in polls that are automated than those that are conducted by a live operator. This used to be known as the Bradley phenomena. There were people who did not want to tell a pollster that they were going to vote for former police commissioner.
Sure. So what's that number?
Bradley,
what's the number? What's the number?
For mayor of Los Angeles. So I do think there's an undervote there. On the other hand, they're prepared to steal votes in the cities. They will engage in both voter fraud and election rigging. Why? Because they can. That's why. And that's why we have gone to great lengths to set up StopTheSteal.org to conduct exit polls so that we can compare to the actual results on a precinct-by-precinct basis, and also to demand publicly that the software for these computerized voter machines be inspected by a neutral third party in the swing states prior to Election Day, prior to the machines being turned
All right, Roger,
on.
I know you probably got to go, but do 5 more minutes with us to finish up and talk about how we're going to stop the steal. And obviously, I think you agree, Trump is really ahead here, but they're going to try to create the perception he isn't to also swing voters. So it's all a perception game. Will the truth override the lies? Lionel, 5 more with us as well. Stay with us. You know what? We're doing what we have to do. I was just talking to Roger in the break. Only a few minutes left with both these men. I'm thanking both for being on with us. Roger Stone of the StoneColdTruth.com, Lionel of LionelMedia.com. I'm Alex Jones of Infowars.com. I said, what's going to stop Trump? And he said, fear. There's massive intimidation. There's massive threats. In fact, there was a whole stack of news I was going to cover with them is just the threats, the intimidation, the bullying. But I think we're going to come through this and win. But Trump needs to do what got him here, and that's be aggressive. Stone, you have launched a new site where we can counter the David Brock, the paid bloggers, the bots. This is an info war. Rally the troops. What do we do?
Yeah, I think this is absolutely key. We need patriotic Americans to jump in and help us here. Over 500 people have already signed up, and we've just launched this. All we're asking you to do is to get daily reports from us with the truth, information, not disinformation, but information, and go out in the blogosphere and post it. Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. Get the word out there and reach as many people as you can. Defend the Donald. You go to StopTheSteal.org. At the very top of the page, you'll see a link for Defend the Donald. Sign up to join the blogging army of truth tellers. We're not looking for bots. We're not looking for paid operators out of India. We're looking for red-blooded Americans with flesh and blood to sign up and join this blogging army.
Absolutely, and we're going to take a lot of this, and people sign up for our free newsletter, Infowars.com/newsletter. The same thing. It's an info war, folks. Lionel, final question or comment for our guest here, Mr. Stone.
Well, Roger, I was curious about what is your take as to the latest attack where anybody who now speaks or refers to or gets to know or discusses Julian Assange is now, according to Jerry Nadler, subject to FBI investigation?
Yeah, that's a witch hunt. This is the new McCarthyism. Jerry Nadler, a hack politician from Manhattan, is demanding that the FBI director investigate me for what? For having a mutual friend with Julian Assange?
The FBI ought to be investigating his fat ass for working with the Clinton crime family.
They really ought to investigate him, but it's an abuse of power. It's the new McCarthyism. It's completely irresponsible, and it's entirely partisan. I mean, all the top Democrats on August 31st in the House co-signed a letter to the FBI director demanding that I be investigated. This is laughable. Be investigated for what? Expressing my First
Except
Amendment
Hillary
rights?
says she's going to shut down the alt media and dark-hearted demons as soon as she... Lionel?
No, I'm sorry, but this is a direct affront against the First Amendment. You know, we have a mutual friend, Roger, who is speaking with Mr. Assange. I guess Oliver Stone should be investigated as well. But also, I mentioned to Alex before, there's a new ruling by the FEC which seeks to invalidate or disenable any media organization that has a smidgen, a de minimis of foreign ownership from not only reporting on elections, but even commenting. And that would include Fox News, Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times.
Yeah, no, they're trying to bring back the fairness doctrine. I mean, it's all happening, Roger.
Yeah, no, look, I invited a reporter I have huge respect for at the New York Times to join my radio show this weekend. He said, sure, absolutely, I'd love to, but I have to get approval from the higher-ups. It's standard. I said, no problem. He called me back this morning, kind of sheepish, and said, well, bad news. They nixed it. That's just pathetic. I mean, but it's part and parcel of
they're always about ending communication. They're always, the White House that runs Media Matters is always about this person shouldn't go on Alex's show and that person shouldn't.
Yeah,
they want to control.
Burning. It's book burning. It's Hitler-like censorship. Stalin would be proud. What can I say?
It's here. Roger, we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
All right, I'm going to be back with a little bit more with Lionel, then hand the baton to our own David Knight. I got a bunch of news I haven't hit yet, so I might just co-host the whole third hour. I'm getting wound up. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. You don't let them break your will. Go to Infowars.com/app and download an app that cost us over $200,000 and took us over a year to develop, that we're going to be expanding on the next few months with free video and audio and podcast feeds and breaking news and alerts and so much more. Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action. Thousands of years ago, there was a basic form of chivalry. Our ancestors would hear the drums of war, giving the warriors of the tribe a chance to organize and prepare a defense. 60 years ago, when foreign air forces were approaching filled with bombs, they had drums of their own, air raid sirens. But in the 21st century, there are silent weapons for quiet war. Pathogens added to the food and water, and to the lining of plastics that destroy our vitality, turn off our hormones, and accelerate our journey towards death. I personally counter this onslaught with Anthroplex. Anthroplex is designed with known organic concentrated herbs to create the basic foundation to normal metabolic activity inside the human body. Discover why Anthroplex is turning so many heads today. It's time for us to take our bodies back into our own hands, and it starts at InfoWarsLife.com with Anthroplex.